deserve this. We rose to the moment, and here we are.
Welcome to the Long Distance Playbook. Today is October the 25th. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing wonderful. It's football weekend and lots more. So, I'm ready to go. What about you, man?
Hey, look, we got a couple of sports we're gonna cover before we get to some football, but hopefully we bring you a good show today. Remember to always like and subscribe. All right, well, let's jump right into it. We got some shout outs this week. I want to shout out to Emily Scarrett. She has announced her retirement after 17 years as a rugby player for England. Congratulations.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to jump right into NASCAR. So, Chase Briscoe won the Talladega race last week. Congratulations. That secured him a place into the championship with Denny Hamlin. So, Jay, they got two more races. They got Martinsville coming up tomorrow. Like, who you got in this?
In Hamlin, we trust.
Oh, so you taking Denny tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going with Hamlin on that one. I think you know what? It's only two more races left. Yep. So instead of waiting until the last one, I think he's going to step up, and I think his crew is going to be just a little bit better than everybody else's. And I think Hamlin's going to end the season off right and leave no doubt who the best the race car driver is right as of right now.
Okay. All right. So you if I'm not mistaken, I do believe he's being part owned by Mr. Air Jordan, right?
Yeah, Jordan himself. Yeah. Jordan, just like Magic, they're into, different things other than basketball. Magic has been a little bit more successful off the court when it comes to these type of things, but it's good to see Jordan trying to make a little comeback after his NBA executive career hasn't been so shiny since he left the game.
Fair enough. Well, you called Denny Hamlin. To me, it's a toss-up. It's either between Joey Logano or Chase Elliott right now. I know everybody's got a shot at this, but I think those are the two. If you're going to win Martinsville, you've got to beat one of them. You've got to beat them, and then of course we'll move on to the last race of the season. All right. So, MLS have started their playoffs. We'll give y'all more updates next week after some of the games have really played. There's only a couple of games that have played so far. I know everybody wants to talk about Miami because Messi got the golden boot of MLS, but we'll cover more of that next week. We also have Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley tonight in a boxing match. Jay, what you got on that?
Well, it's about time we had some good, solid competition. And, lately we've been getting these, I'm 25, I'm going to go against a 38-year-old. The age, be a huge age difference. Sometimes you get it where you know, one's just outside their prime and one's in their prime. I think right here we're getting a 30-year-old and a 34-year-old, and um, the Parker's only won 36 fights and Worley's won 19. So they are still, in their prime. We're going to get the best out of both fighters. And to me, I think I'm going to go with Worley on this one. Even though Parker, he is 20 pounds heavier than Worley is. So
Oh, okay.
that's going to be a very different dynamic, especially when you're talking about two heavyweight fighters. Will Parker be able to lean on Worley throughout the fight, wear him down? Or is Worley going to try to end this thing a little bit early so he doesn't have to go into the later rounds and start to get a little bit tired? But yeah, that's how I see it. I think Worley's going to win this one, and hopefully this will set up a chain reaction. Hopefully of some really good fights that are going to be coming our way, especially with the heavyweight division.
Okay. All right. I don't know much about it, so that's why I let you speak about it.
Oh, okay, I hear you. I hear you.
All right. You want to bring us into the next one?
Okay. Um,
Moving to baseball.
so the MLB, and this is October. This is where you can go from being ordinary to extraordinary.
Mm.
You could be an average player during the regular season, and then all of a sudden you hit a grand slam and people look at you different.
Mm.
Did you get a chance to catch any of the game last night, or I knew you had to work today, but my goodness, if the Dodgers felt comfortable, they had the rest, they had, you know, they are clearly the favorite, I believe, going into the World Series against
Yes.
the Blue. What do you think? I mean, okay,
No, the Dodgers are the favorite. Yes.
okay, so as a favorite, and
Hmm.
well, I'm a movie guy, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. In case you haven't seen the World Series last night, spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the game or you plan on watching it, then just turn the volume down right now because we're gonna say who won game one last night. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the Dodgers lost last night, game one, and they were able to get Snell out of the fifth inning, or out of the sixth inning. They were able to get Snell out,
Right.
and what was a 2-2 game? It was up for grabs.
Hmm.
The Blue Jays poured it on with 9, including a four-run home run. It was a grand slam, and it was a first pitch grand slam by Forshaw. And wow, can one at bat change the dynamic of a whole baseball series? Do you think?
Oh, it could change the outlook of it. I don't know if it can change the entire series, but it can definitely change the outlook of it because with that grand slam that put them so much far out ahead, right? And now LA was trying to fight to get back into the game. But you got to take one game at a time. So,
Well, see, I would be remiss to say that one at bat can for me it can change a series. I'm a Oakland A's fan through and through.
okay.
And when we had the Bash Brothers in '88 and we played against the Dodgers, we had the Dodgers game one, and we were in their house. And you know what? Our closer, Dennis Eckersley, comes in. One guy gets on base. We're up by 1 run in the ninth inning. Kirk Gibson hits a 2-run shot. And there's 7 games in the series.
Right.
But the Dodgers taking game one like they did, Oakland didn't stand a chance the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, can that possibly be that moment for the Toronto Blue Jays to say, you know what, we got to we knocked out Snell. He was well rested.
Right.
I think we could take these guys.
Well, I think Toronto actually had the advantage for game one, and I'll tell you why. Right, because I think um, Toronto's bats had to be hot against Seattle. They didn't have a lot of off days, so they were still hot. LA, on the other hand, beat the Milwaukee Brewers fast and had a lot of rest time. So I think they cooled off a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how game two plays out because game one in the Dodgers, right? Freddie Freeman went 0 for 3. So you had a lot of players on the Dodgers, their bats weren't hitting like they're used to, right? So it's going to
Yeah.
be if LA can get something going in game two, then I think with I think Yamamoto or whatever is pitching game two.
Yeah, Yamamoto and Guzman. They're
Right.
pitching game two. And you know what? Momentum's a real thing in sports.
Mm-hmm. Kay Washington said all year the Dodgers bullpen has been a problem, and Toronto has shown that if you can get hits off the starters, then you can go to town on the bullpen. Thank you for this comment. Absolutely. So look,
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
it's gonna be all about LA's bats. They've got to get hot. If they don't, Toronto's not going to slow down. Toronto's got proven that it's not just a one person show with Guerrero, that the entire team can hit.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's
It's
going to be
exciting.
interesting. The Dodgers lead this series all time, 15-6, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time Toronto went to the World Series?
The last time they went to the World Series,
Mm-hmm.
93.
Yes,
Joe Carter's home
absolutely.
run.
This is their third appearance of all time.
Yeah, they went back to back. They won back to back titles.
Mm-hmm.
They had my
92 and
guy
93.
Henderson was on their team. They had Roberto Alomar. They had like a really, really good team,
Yes.
and it's good to see some of these other teams popping up a little bit when you don't see Boston and the Yankees and you know coming through the AL all the time. So
Right.
I'm all for it.
Right. And just to let the viewers know, myself and Chris, who's not with us today, he had to work, but Jay, fortunately, is with us. Our picks, we picked this before the game last night, and Chris said he had the Dodgers in 5. Jay, what did you say?
I have the Dodgers in 6.
Mm. And I'll be honest, I said, well, on this show, we got to have somebody take Toronto. And since you two took the Dodgers, I'll take Toronto, but I think I'm going to take Toronto in 7. So we'll see. Now the favor's looking in my favor.
Yeah,
So
they're in control, but I mean, it's a 7-game series. The Dodgers
mhm.
just need the one in Toronto. It doesn't have to be the first or second game. It could be in the back end,
Yeah.
but if they fall 0-2, game 3 is a must. You don't
Oh,
want to
absolutely.
fall down 3 in the best of 7, and that's
No,
throughout all the sports, not just baseball.
because it makes it so much harder. There's so much more pressure and any less room for mistakes.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I agree. Um, let's see. You want to keep talking about baseball? Or you want to move to the next one thing?
Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one because
All right.
we got
So
a lot on today.
yeah, I know, right? So all right, NBA season is kicked off. All right. First game of the season was the Rockets versus OKC. What are your thoughts on that game, Jay?
Whew. Well, first, we know what we're going to see from OKC. We know that they're a young team. They were crown champions. The nervousness or the them battling high expectations, they're not worried about that anymore. They can just go out and play. But for the Houston Rockets, okay, they brought in Kevin Durant, and he's not 25 anymore. So we weren't quite sure exactly how he was going to be able to come out game one of the whole, the season. But I think we'll be more worried about how he's going to do, in January and February because, he's had a hard time staying on the court as well. So, but for that game, those two, I mean, it was an exciting game. Was it overtime or double overtime?
Double overtime.
Double overtime.
Yeah.
And, for a season opener, it definitely didn't disappoint. Anytime you have a champion, whether it's baseball or football, basketball, whatever, you always want to see that champion come out and play well. And they played well, and they gave us a very exciting opening to the NBA season.
I agree with you. I agree. And to me, it's going to be interesting as well. Houston did make, I think, history. They had the tallest lineup ever to start an NBA game. Everybody besides the point guard was 6'11". That's crazy, right? So,
wow.
yeah.
I
mean, you're talking about a lot of height. 4 guys on the team, 6'11". And I watched it, right? And I will say there were times where it looked like Houston could have run away with it because the height was causing problems in certain situations. Now, granted, OKC, they've got a nucleus, right? Because a lot of them players came back, right? Majority of the players that were on the roster last year came back, so they know how to play with each other. This Houston team is Kevin Durant, age-wise, might not be young, but playing-wise with these guys are young. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast they can bond and what kind of damage they can do at the end of the season. Remember, first game of the season, does it mean something? Yes, but is it make or break? No. You know what I'm saying? So
I know exactly what you mean. No one's going to be looking like, oh man, they lost the first game of the season, man. Boy, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Right. So we've got to see how they play against the rest of the West, right?
Yeah.
And so far, I'm watching, and there's some teams out there that I like, and we can talk more about that in another week. But it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Just hang on real quick. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you. right, welcome back. We're going to move straight into some college football. Just for our viewers, we pick our games every week, and I'm going to let you now know our record. Chris dominated last week. He went 5-1. Jay went 4-2, and I went 4-2. For the season, Chris is sitting at 24-16. Jay is sitting at 26-14, and myself, I'm sitting at 29-11. So they're trying to catch up with me this week. All right, you gonna get there. Yeah. All right, hey, let's jump into that first game. Now, UCLA at Indiana. What you got on this?
I got the boys in Indiana. This is the highest they've been. Can you recall a time that Indiana has been this highly ranked?
No, I cannot.
I can remember when Bobby Knight basketball team was ranked this high, but not for the football team. So I think they're going to do great. I think they're going to be able to take UCLA seriously.
Okay.
And we know that UCLA, they don't let the record fool you. That 3-4, they can come ready to play. So
well, they started. UCLA started 0-4.
Exactly. So they're not going to sneak up on them. And that's why I think Indiana, they're going to get that running game going, and I think Indiana's going to beat them.
Okay. All right. Look, I think Indiana. I agree with you 100%. Indiana's going to beat them. I don't think it's going to be a contest. UCLA, yeah, got it. You can look at their stats for the season. But I think that's like you said, really misleading because the last 3 games, they've become a better football team themselves. I just don't think they have what it takes to beat Indiana. But it does make for interesting talk because now Indiana and Ohio State, they don't play each other. So this right here is going to be to me, we're looking at 1 and 2 having to play for the Big Ten championship. And as long as Indiana takes care of business, and as long as Ohio State take care of business, they should fairly remain ranked up there. Right now, a lot of this depends on how some of these high-ranking SEC teams make things happen too, because they're playing other ranked teams, and it could cause Indiana to slide down if they're not playing top competition. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, especially if it's how you play. If it's not looking good, but you're winning these games, and if an SEC team is beating another SEC team, and they're beating them by 20 to 30 points, then I can see them jumping over Indiana. Okay. So yeah, I can see that.
All right. Well, some of the top SEC teams that I was just talking about. Next game, we've got number 8 Ole Miss at number 13 Oklahoma.
Whew, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Oh, my bad. Real quick, sorry, Jay. You're taking Indiana. I took Indiana. Chris also took Indiana.
Okay, it's about right. I can see that.
So let's go ahead and move to the Ole Miss in Oklahoma.
So Oklahoma lost to Texas, right?
Yes.
It's a bad loss. So are they going to be, internally, is there anything wrong there that's going to make us believe that they're at home and they're not going to be ready to play this week? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma is playing with their backup because their starter in this early in the season injured himself, right? So now he's out. So Oklahoma's playing with the backup. So I would say it's so hard, right? Because both these teams are currently 6-1, right? And they're looking to stay relevant within the talks of the SEC title. Okay, because if you're not there, it's going to be harder to get in the playoffs. Now, I could see a non SEC championship team, one of the teams that's not in the SEC championship game. I could see one of those getting in the playoffs, but
Mm-hmm.
that's depending on the committee, right?
Yes.
But I mean, it's just so hard. Oklahoma, I do believe, is favored in this game, and rightfully so. It is their home field, right?
Yep. And let's face it. These
Yeah.
are the games that truly matter.
Yes.
And I mean, for real. I mean, I would, in a perfect world, in October, these are the games that would be being played, and you wouldn't have, I know teams are going to make their schedules how they want to make them, but it's important to have these games where you have two teams in the top 15 playing each other, and with the playoffs that the top 12 make it. So Oklahoma doesn't right now. They're 13. They don't want to fall too far back,
Right.
because they want to be in contention to play for the playoffs. But for me, I just think Ole Miss just has too much for them. I think they have a good run game. They have good passing. They've played against tough opponents already. Yeah, I got Ole Miss in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah. I mean, I've got Ole Miss in this one too, right? But I'll tell you what I'm curious to see is how well Oklahoma does against Ole Miss's offense, right? Because this is the tale of Oklahoma power. Can put up points, spread the ball, move the ball on offense, right? And you're playing a defense that can play lockdown defense, right? Now, last week it didn't look like it against Texas, but it's okay. You're going to make some mistakes. And if that was Oklahoma's mess up game, talking about Texas last week, then that's not a bad game to mess up on, right? Because they're going to go into their schedule playing some ranked teams, and it could just boost their resume. But if they lose to Ole Miss, then I think it's going to boost Ole Miss's resume. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm taking Ole Miss. Chris also said that he was taking Ole Miss, and then we have Mr. Frank. He chimed in and said he's taking Ole Miss. So I think we're doing Ole Miss across the board, Jay.
Yeah, so I mean, Ole Miss did give up 43 against Georgia last week, which should set off some alarm across the country. But I mean, it is Georgia, and I think Georgia, they were coming off of something where they wanted to prove everybody that they Georgia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about the next one? What do you have?
All right.
Also, I want to say, if you are in the chat, please, if you hear us talking about these games, who do you have? We're interested to see what teams that you think are going to win. Not just us picking these games, but it'll be nice to see what your opinion are.
Absolutely. Hey, we like fan interaction, right? All right, so we're going to move over to another SEC team, another SEC game. Number 15, Missouri at number 10, Vanderbilt. Woo!
Good time of the year. I'm telling you.
Look,
yes.
You're talking about two games of SEC teams already, right? And they're ranked in the top 15.
Yes.
This is going to shake things up, depending on how things play out. Missouri, is not a bad football team. Okay. Um, they're fighting just like Vanderbilt is. They're all 6-1, right? We just mentioned the other two. They're 6-1. 6-1 right now is prime. Okay. However, Vanderbilt's playing very, very good football, and it is going to be a home game for them. Um, so, to me, whoever wins this game is
Mm-hmm.
on the same page with Oklahoma and Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
Because now you've played a top tier team and you have beaten them, and now you're going to move further up. That's the only way I see it. Um, Vanderbilt could win, Missouri could win. Um, so it depends on how you look at it. Myself, I'm taking Missouri on this one, Jay.
Ooh.
Yes. What
So
you got?
are you picking that with your heart, or are you picking it with your brain?
I'm picking it with brain. I'm picking it with. I think Vanderbilt. I think Missouri's defense is good enough to contain Pavia. I don't think they're going to shut them down, but contain them just enough where Missouri can put some points on the board and win.
And Chris not being here didn't have any influence on him being from Missouri. Just
Nope.
nothing.
Nope. Actually, no. Speaking of that, Chris actually went for Vanderbilt.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
I'm the. Go ahead.
I'll give it to you. Um, Missouri, who they lose to, they only have one loss on their schedule, on their resume. Because
Correct.
they're all building resumes right now. Because
Yes.
there's 12 job openings coming up in
Mm-hmm.
January, and they want to make sure that when they put their resume in, that they're going to be one of those top 12 teams.
Yep.
So Missouri has only lost to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but do they have any good quality wins on that resume?
I think so.
Okay. So on their resume, they beat Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Because it's important who you beat,
It is.
right? It's important. Okay, so they beat UCA 61-6. They beat Kansas, which they're an average team. They're they're an average team.
Right.
They beat Louisiana Cajun team 52-10. They beat South Carolina, UMass. I don't see. I mean, there's nothing just like compels me to say that's a team I should believe in,
I mean, I
right?
understand.
I mean, is there any teams that just jump out like, oh yeah, that's their signature win for the season?
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
see
no.
that.
This could be Missouri's signature win for the season.
Oh, we wishing and hoping and praying ain't hard today. I didn't know it was
Absolutely.
Sunday. I didn't know it was Sunday. Hold on a second. Um, so with Vanderbilt,
Mm-hmm.
and they call them the Commodores without Lionel Richie. That's what they call them. So this is what they've done so far. Um, they're 6-1, and this is the same 6-1 as your team.
Yes.
They beat Virginia Tech
Yep.
and Virginia Tech. They
Mm-hmm.
beat LSU, and and,
Yep.
and I would say LSU would be their signature win, right? As of right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Um, but
But
again,
wasn't that game in Vanderbilt?
It was in Vanderbilt, yes.
Okay.
But looking at Vanderbilt, can you say over the last 10 years if I would have told you if they would have played on the moon that Vanderbilt would be able to beat an LSU team? I don't think I don't.
I would say honestly, after last season, yes, and here's why. Right, because a lot Vanderbilt was very good last season, and a lot of people
Mhm.
overlooked them, including Alabama, and that's why we went to Vanderbilt and lost. So it's easier. It's easier
Yeah.
when you have the home field advantage, right? And that's why I said if Missouri wins this in
Mhm.
Vanderbilt, the way Vanderbilt's playing, that's their signature win.
Okay. So the show me state's going to have to show me because until then, I ain't buying it. I'm going to stick
I
with
understand.
Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt, the Commodores, maybe Lionel Richie shows up. Maybe he sings or something. I don't know. But I'm going with Vanderbilt in this one.
Okay, and we already announced Chris is too. All right, Jay, we're gonna move on to the next game. We got number 11 BYU at Iowa State.
Mm.
What you got on this, Jay?
Well, I picked Iowa State to win, and they lost when I picked them before. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
being at home, it does help. Um, BYU is 7-0. They beat Utah. Um, Iowa State, I think, for whatever reason, and they're 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
I think they win. I don't know why, but I think Iowa State wins this game.
Do you think Iowa State wins it?
I think Iowa State wins this.
Okay. All right. Let me give you a quick fact. So, the last time these two teams played was in 2023, and Iowa State won 45-13.
Ooh,
That's a lot of
wow.
points. That's a gap right there, right? Uh, but I'm going to say this is not the same BYU team. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they are 7-0, ranked 11th for a reason. This is a must-win game for BYU because if they lose this game, their chances in the college playoff is going to get a lot slimmer. If they win this game and they continue their wins, their path of undefeatedness, then they're going to make a statement, regardless to me, right? Regardless of the conference
Yeah.
that they are in, because to me, if you are undefeated at the end of the season of a conference, then to me you should be getting in the playoffs, right? Not necessarily saying you should be number one or number two or anything, right? But that's the whole point of the college playoffs, right? Is to represent these other conferences that were struggling to get in to the championship game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if BYU can continue, then they'll have a chance. It's going to come down to if BYU can get their rushing game going, right? Iowa State is a very balanced team, offense and defense, right?
Yeah.
BYU likes to run the ball more than pass. BYU does have a good defense, but if Iowa State shuts down BYU's rush game, then it's going to be a long day for BYU. However, I'm taking BYU, and Chris is also taking BYU.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that. You look a little bit down the road
Mm-hmm.
and you see that BYU has Texas Tech next week,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 weeks later they have Cincinnati. So they know how important it is. They definitely don't want to slip up and have a bad game against a team they feel is reeling right now. Um, Iowa State has lost two in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost to Cincinnati, and then they went back and they lost to Colorado last week. So this is a game where you have that team that has lost two in a row, and maybe some that they have internally some self doubt about can they, can they win one? They're at
Yeah.
home. I think they're at home. I think they can right the ship.
Okay. All right. So you taking Iowa State, and me and Chris are taking BYU. Good luck. Move over to the next game, and it's great that you mentioned who BYU has left playing, right? Because it brings us to our next game. We have Baylor at number 21 Cincinnati. Okay.
Mm,
So
yeah.
if BYU wins, I don't necessarily see them moving up drastically
Hmm.
because they didn't play a ranked team, right? However, if Cincinnati wins, there's a chance they can move up, and here's why. We talked about them two SEC games earlier, and they're ranked, so somebody's going to lose, and they're going to start going backwards, right?
Yeah.
So if Cincinnati wins this, that could make this BYU Cincinnati matchup in 2 weeks very, very interesting. Um, however, Baylor is a very, very good passing team. Okay.
Yes.
Cincinnati is their run offense, their balanced offense, right? And their defense isn't too bad. When
Hmm.
you look at the overall spectrum, they're pretty good. Um, this is the first, I don't know if you knew this or not, but since they've realigned conferences, right? Now
Yes.
they're back in the Big 12. This is the first time they have met. Okay.
Okay.
It's a must win for Cincinnati. Baylor can't do anything, right? They're 4-3. Cincinnati's 6-1. So once again, another 6-1 team hanging in there. They're 4-0 in the conference, right? This is going to be big games coming up. Jay,
Yeah.
help me out. What you got?
Well, I think Cincinnati's going to be running through the uh, Big 12 gauntlet, so to speak, or um, Midwest, however you want, the region that they're going to be playing in. This is who they have next on their schedule. And we already talked about they're playing Baylor today. They have Utah, who's 5-2, Arizona 4-3, and then they have BYU 7-0. So yeah, I mean we're gonna see what Cincinnati is that 6-1 like record gonna hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very big step for them. And wow, there's no way. I'll have to
What?
check it. No, because it looked like Cincinnati was going to be on the road the next couple games, but no, they're on home. Okay,
Okay.
so I was like, who puts four road games in a row? I
In a
have a little tough.
row? That'd be
Yeah,
hard.
nobody be doing that. But yeah, they have a tough road coming up in October. But I think they win this week. I think they handle their business, and I think they're going to win. That's
Yeah,
what I
I'm
think.
in agreement with you on. I'm in agreement with you on who wins, um, and Chris is too. So we all three chose Cincinnati this week. So all right, let's move into our next game. And yes, we got a lot of football games we're talking about today, guys. So just bear with us. All right, our next game: Texas at Mississippi State.
Mm, mm, mm.
Jay, help me out on this. What you got?
Um, well, I'm telling you, I'll just tell you right up front. I got Mississippi State. I have
Ooh.
I have no faith in Mr. Manning himself. I think um, they've been trying to cover up a lot to try to get his footing into the season, but to me, he's just not there yet. And you know, there's going to be a few games where they're going to fall behind, and they're going to need him to play better. He hasn't played at that level that we are expecting him to play. He's not playing at the level that they showed us he was going to be the next best thing.
Right.
And he hasn't lived up to the hype yet. Now, the players around him sometimes they haven't caught the ball, they haven't made the tackles they were supposed to make, they haven't picked off the passes they were supposed to pick off. It's a team game. But with that being said, the number one position on the field is quarterback. If you don't believe in your quarterback, what are we talking about? So I got Mississippi State. What about you, Mason?
Well, look, you're not wrong about Mr. Arch Manning there, um, struggling with offensively. Okay, I don't think he's really found the flow of the game just yet. So I don't think he's NFL ready by any means. But Texas's defense. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I went against Texas and I said I'm not impressed with Texas until their defense really starts stepping up, right? Well, then they immediately shut me up and they played some hard-nosed defense, and they've been playing solid defense since. I don't think Mississippi State has the firepower to really challenge that defense just yet. Mississippi State's not a bad team, but their Texas defense is just that much better, I believe. So, I mean, Mississippi State lost last week to Florida. Florida's had a rough year. So, I mean, now Texas barely beat Kentucky. So it's a give and take, right? Like, and it's all about who can do what at this time of the year, right? We talked about a lot of 6-1 teams. Mississippi State's 4-3, Texas 5-2. They're staying right there in the hunt. If Texas loses this, they're done. Understand that. That's a 3-loss team you're not getting in, no matter what. Mississippi State's not getting in already, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So I think Texas A&M defense is going to carry this team to victory. So I took Texas, and Chris also took Texas. So it's going to be interesting to see what we got.
Yeah. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
You know who Texas has the next 2 weeks?
Who?
They're at Vanderbilt and they're at Georgia.
That's tough. So if they don't figure it out this week, they're really done. So
that's bad. It's what we call a trap game. This is a trap game.
Yep.
Where you're looking down the street. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, that's Vanderbilt. Oh, well, what's that over there? Oh, that's Georgia. And all of a sudden, somebody's taking your football while you're looking over there. Somebody took your football and scored a touchdown while you're looking down the street at the next team.
Yep.
And Texas strikes me as a team that would overlook somebody.
They could, absolutely. All right, let's talk about this next one. You ready? This is our third SEC team with ranked opponents. We have number 3, Texas A&M, at number 20, LSU. It's in Death Valley. That is huge. So, I don't know. I mean, I know who I'm picking, but to me, this is going to be a very, very interesting match because LSU sitting at that 5-2 mark. So if they don't win this, they're done. And then we'll go into other discussions later. Go ahead.
Let's not. This is not the old college system.
Okay.
And I've been hearing this not just from you, but from constituents across the board. They want us to talk about, if they lose this game, they're done. They're done. This is not where at the end of the season is 1 versus 2. and it's not 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. We got 12 teams that are going to be, you know what I mean, in the playoffs.
Right. No, I got that, right? But if they're a 3-loss team, right?
Yeah,
Remember, we've got multiple 6-1 teams. Okay. If LSU loses this, they go down to a 3-loss team. So it's going to be so much harder to get back into it, right? Now, because now you're counting on everybody else. You weren't good enough to completely take care of business to get in. So now you're relying on everybody else to lose to get in.
But
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that the way the NFL basically is? When you start off with a bad record and then you need help to get in. Well, you can still get the help you need to get in. But I think we should just back off a little bit when we in October when we're talking about this team is done because they have 3 losses. Now, if you have 5 losses, then that's something completely different. But
go ahead.
Go ahead. I would say if you finish the season 9-3, you know what? You're talking about 12 teams. Yeah. Somebody else could have 3 losses with you because you never know when these losses are going to come.
Right.
And who's going to get hurt, who's not going to get hurt. Who's going to have a couple bad games, who's going to get arrested. There's so many things that can happen when we talk about ball players. So it's you know what I'm saying. It's just the way that the system is set up is premature to treat 3 losses like it's 5 losses. Back in the day, it was if you had 2 losses, then you weren't going to make the playoff. You weren't going to make the top 4 or whatever. You know what I mean? Right. If you had 2 losses. So right. I just think it's just we have enough teams now, and depends on who. And this is the way that the committee has told us. It's not about how many losses you have, is who you lost to and when did you lose to them.
I agree. But now I'll say this. I'm not saying LSU is going to lose, right? But I'm saying if they're a 3-loss team, it's going to be hard to get back in. Now, understand this. If LSU flips it and beats Texas A&M, now is that LSU's signature win for the season because Texas A&M is ranked 3rd, even though it was a home game for LSU? So,
yeah.
And that's going to shake some things up too, right, with the rankings?
Yes. So LSU, whatever they do today, if they lose today, just say, like, they better not lose today. That's something that we can say. They better not lose today because they're at Alabama next week.
Right.
Now, if they lose today and then lose next week, then we could probably say, "Oh, you know what? You lost 4 games." You know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I see it. And then they have Oklahoma at the end of the season. So,
right.
For me, if they beat, so they have Texas A&M, LSU, Alabama, and Oklahoma. If they beat 2 of those teams, I think if they beat any 2 of those teams, I think they still would be in consideration of making the playoffs. That's what I believe.
I couldn't argue with you on that. Absolutely. But if they lose today, the battle for the rest of the season is not going to be easy.
It's uphill. It's uphill.
And if Texas A&M wins, right, then it definitely secures their spot in the SEC championship, right? Because they'll be 8-0, and a lot of these other teams are going to wind up beating. As long as Texas A&M still stays undefeated, right? Then it's going to be hard to argue with them because they deserve. If they stay undefeated, they'll get a chance in the championship game, no matter what.
The smart thing about Texas A&M, they decided to play all their tough games early.
Yeah.
So yes, so they have South Carolina and Samford left on their schedule.
Well, we'll see how good South Carolina is. Alabama's playing them today, but we're not going to talk about them. So,
yeah.
Chris is over here chiming in. He said, I'm fine. He's finally in, so I guess he's watching us. What's up, man?
Okay. Welcome back.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our. Wait, real quick. Who was your pick on this game?
Texas A&M.
All right, I got Texas A&M, and so does Chris. So let's move on to the next game. Then we got Houston at number 24, Arizona State.
All right.
This game's got some Big 12 playoff implications there, Jay. What you got?
I have Arizona State winning this one.
Ooh.
Of course, it's going to be late. I won't watch the game because they're just playing too late. So my West Coast people, y'all will be it'll be 8 o'clock your time, or matter of fact, it'll be 5 o'clock your time when this game starts. I think Arizona's going to win this one. I think the passing game is better. The running game is better. They've won their last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arizona is just looking at it. No, actually, Arizona State, they lost to Utah 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But they bounced back against Texas Tech last week. So I think Arizona State's going to win this one. What about you?
Look, did you know that this is the first time that Houston and Arizona State have ever played against each other?
You know what?
This is the first time ever.
I'm still not going to watch this. I'm going to sleep. Okay.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm probably going to be asleep too. But that's just interesting facts, right? This is the first time. So now after this, they'll actually have a history with each other. All right.
Okay.
No, I'm in agreement with you though. Yes, Houston is good. Houston can put up the points and everything, right? And if Houston wins, congratulations to them. It just puts them further up into the Big 12, right? I think if they beat Arizona State, Houston will jump in the top 25. They're not ranked right now, but I believe they'll definitely jump in that. And then you have to start talking about who can win the Big 12, right? So it'll give different topics. If Arizona State wins, they'll move a little further up, and then you have to continue to keep Arizona State in talks of Big 12 championship. So it's going to be interesting. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's going to be the tough sledding for Arizona State to try to get into the playoffs. I mean, they are ranked 24 now. They have Iowa State coming up and Colorado. So, they would have to make it to their championship game and then, hope for some other teams to fall down for them to move up that high, because they just don't have the teams on their schedule just to break into that top 12 that I believe.
Right. All right. No, I got you. Yeah, and it's hit and miss, right? We could be wrong on this. We could be right on this. Who knows, right? This is just our opinion. But yeah, you went Arizona State. I'm going with Arizona State, and Chris also went with Arizona State. So brings us to our last game. This is our first game where neither team is ranked, right? However, there are title implications in this game. It's for the MAC. It's Western Michigan at Miami of Ohio. Okay. So I'll go ahead and tell you. I got Miami of Ohio. And I just think they're a better offense than Western Michigan is. Defense could use some work, but we also know that football is can be momentum swing, right? So if your offense is clicking, a lot of times your defense can perform better. And I think Miami of Ohio's offense is just going to click a little bit better than Western Michigan. These teams have played 5 times against each other. 5, Jay. Who do you think leads the series?
Western Michigan.
No, Miami leads that series 3-2.
Oh, wow.
3-2.
Western Michigan had them.
So, I mean, I looked at their schedule, right? So if Western Michigan wins this game and they win out the rest of their season, they can, I think, they can be in the MAC championship game, right? Miami of Ohio has to go through, oh my gosh, I forget the name. My brains just went blank real quick. Miami of Ohio has to play the other top tier team in the MAC, right?
Okay.
So in order, and then you could have a right out champion in a way, right? If Miami of Ohio beats Western Michigan and then beats the other team, right? I think you're pretty like, okay, they won their conference. And yeah, they're not great, right? Both the teams are 4-3, so anything could happen. But and good luck to both teams, really. Jay, what you got?
I got Western Michigan. I think the Michigan crew are gonna beat the Ohio crew. And their teams are very much even, but I think Western Michigan will be a little bit more focused. I think they'll get the run game going. And, the weather might not be so pleasant today, but I think Western Michigan's going to get them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to Miami, Ohio. And Chris is also going Miami of Ohio. So good luck to everybody who has made their picks. And let's see how things may unfold. Remember, after the show, college football really literally kicks off. So we jump right into it. But good luck to everybody. All right. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after the commercial. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, don't forget, if you are a veteran and you have your own business and you want a little sponsorship, please send us your stuff and we'll post it, put it in our commercial. All right. Now, Jay, time to get down to the NFL. All right. We got a lot of games to go through. So we got to stay focused, stay on course. You ready?
I am ready.
So, first game up, we got Cleveland at New England.
Well, can I do a little recap on these guys real quick?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on, real quick. Even before that, last week, Chris went 6-1 on our record. Jay went 5-2. I struggled. I went a solid 3-4. Right?
Gotta leave them Falcons
Chris said,
alone.
how about those Rams? He said, who was that? He's bragging at 6-1. All right. That was last week. All right. However, for the season, Chris is sitting at 27-18. Jay, you sitting at 25-20. So you got to do a little catch up. And myself, I'm sitting at 27-18.
Okay. All right.
Well, I had a bad week, but it allowed Chris to jump right back into it, right? We'll see how this week goes.
I will have to say that there's a couple games that I did lose where players decided to drop the ball before they got into the end zone. They want to kick the ball to the other team in the end zone. I'm talking to you, Arizona Cardinals. How you letting Tennessee do? Okay. I'm gonna leave them alone.
Yeah. Hey, so let's you're right for stopping me. I appreciate you. So let's hit our Thursday night game, right? Minnesota Vikings versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts?
I think that game was bigger for the Chargers than it was for the Vikings, just because they had lost the good quality teams, and for them to come back, because they lost to Washington, then they came right back and lost to Indy. So, and if you they lost to Washington at home, but they went to Indianapolis and lost, I think, right?
I think so.
But so yeah, this was a game that they needed to win. The Minnesota didn't have their quarterback. Their defense played well. We got a good chance to see how Mac is going to play with that injury to his elbow. He had a couple sacks as well. They put pressure on Wentz the whole game, and Herb Street was talking about, usually you don't see a lot of deflating body language from a quarterback. At least the veteran quarterbacks, they don't want to give you that edge and let you know that, hey, I'm rattled. You're getting to me. Well, yeah, Wentz showed that, and it's like blood in the water for sharks. When you see as a defensive player and you see that you're getting to the opponent, then yeah, it's Harbaugh. That's one thing about Harbaugh. He teaches that toughness, and he wants all his players to be tough. So, if you're Minnesota, where do you go? Where do you go from here? I mean, you had Darnold, you had Jones in your camp last season, and now which looked like a promising team is definitely in the cellar of that NFC North.
Oh, absolutely. I think they need to start figuring out if JJ McCarthy's ready or not. Because by getting rid of Darnold, they put all their eggs in the basket with JJ, and now he wasn't hot early, and he got injured, and then Wentz came in, right? But now they have to figure out, right, if McCarthy is he healthy enough to get back on the field. All right. And if not, that's why you got to keep Wentz in, right? Because if you're going to put all your eggs in the basket on one guy and he's injured, then you got to keep him off the field until he's healthy, right? Especially if you're saying this is our franchise guy. Okay, because if not, you put that in jeopardy. Uh, However, if he's ready to go, to
Yeah.
me, I think now is the time where you have to put JJ in there. And if he struggles, he struggles. If he does good, he does good, right? He's gonna have to. You got to go ahead and get him in there, get those NFL reps, get Wentz out. In order not to, you're not going to salvage this season, I don't think. However, if you're going to salvage the organization and other players that are on this team, to show that the Vikings are headed in the right direction, right? Because at the end of the season, what do you have? You got free agency, right? And if I feel like I'm not going to be a valuable part of this team, or the team's not winning and somebody else wants me on their team, then I'm gone. So Minnesota's got to make that decision.
If you're Justin Jefferson, are you happy? Or you go to the front office and say, hey, I want to trade. I mean,
Right.
do you see this?
You could. 100%.
Hmm. All right, we're
So
gonna go. Okay.
it's going to
Go ahead.
depend on how Minnesota handles the situation, right?
Yeah. So
So
we'll be looking forward to seeing what Minnesota has in store, because they have the pieces, and it's just if you don't have a quarterback, you're just going to be stuck in mediocrity. So, all right, moving to the first game on the slate, we
mhm.
have Cleveland Browns versus the New England Patriots. Mason, what do you think about this one?
I think this is a game of New England showing that they have found the right coach, that they have the right team, right players on the team, because they're in the right direction. I mean, they're 5-2, so I don't think a lot of people would have pictured New England at 5-2 this time of the season. Um, but once again, they're winning the games and they're playing solid, right? Cleveland, on the other hand, still struggling. I mean, we're talking about Dylan Gabriel. He's okay, right? And as a rookie, we have to ask the question: how much do we expect out of him? It being his rookie year, right? And it's not even his complete rookie year, because he at the beginning of the season he wasn't even a starter, right? Joe
No,
Flacco was. So, but Cleveland's got to start figuring things out, right? Because Cleveland's defense is going to get worn down if their offense can't figure things out. Because their defense is going to have to stay on the field, and Cleveland's got a good, solid defense. You just got to give them some help.
no help, no passing.
The offense has got to
None.
do something. So
You got
I'm
Judkins
taking
and nobody else.
right. Now, if Cleveland can get the ball, if they can start moving the ball, right, with Junkins, that might take some pressure off of Gabriel. Maybe that's what Cleveland needs to do. Um, but until they can prove that they can do that consistently, which is the key word, right? Because week to
Mm-hmm.
week, oh, I'm good this week, but then I'm not. I'm nothing for 2 weeks, and then I'll pop back up. Yeah, I'm good, right? But no, you got to be consistent in this league. Um, I've got New England,
Cleveland is consistently bad.
right? Chris has got New England. What you got?
um, so New England, since they went into Buffalo and beat them on that Sunday night game,
Mm-hmm.
their defense has been tough, their offense has been tough. They are in first place of the AFC North, I mean, AFC East.
Okay, yeah.
So do you credit that more to Derek May or to Vrabel?
I would say it's a little bit of both, right? I would say that win over Buffalo was Vrabel, but the continued winning uh, could be May, and the reason being is because when you beat a top tier team, it builds that confidence, and then you start playing a little bit better.
Well, this week could be a confidence builder, and then they have Atlanta, Tampa, and then the Jets. So you know what? Confidence and a soft schedule together is like a great marriage.
It is. It
I
is.
think so. I got New England in this one, and I don't think they're going to blow out Cleveland. I think Cleveland, they're going to do everything they can to slow down this game.
Right.
They're going to run the ball, a lot of lateral passes, sideline to sideline. You're not going to see them going down the field a lot. Um, so I see maybe like a 20, 23, 16, 21, 13 game, something like that. It's going to be um, a couple plays here and there for New England to win this one. But Cleveland just doesn't have that firepower. I mean, Judkins usually has about 2 or 3 breakout runs a game, but they just seem like they haven't gotten their passing game yet together yet this season. And until they have that down, I don't see Cleveland Browns being able to compete for against teams that are pretty good in this league.
Right. I don't either. All right. So we're all taking the Patriots.
Yeah, so we're taking the Patriots.
All right.
So moving on to the next game. Whoo! I wish Keith was in here because I know Keith is a huge Giant fan. Same thing with Jamel. You know what? Don't let the record fool you. The Giants are a very, very good team. The Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles rematch game. What do you think, Mason?
Look, so it's interesting that we're talking about the Giants and the Eagles, right? Because the Giants just got hit with them fines for last week. So it's going to be interesting to see how New York handles things. It's also going to be interesting to see if Jackson Dart can stay healthy, because if he gets injured in this game, and I'm hoping he doesn't, right? We never hope a player gets hurt. But if he gets hurt, then that's going to shake up the dynamic. Philly, they have found a role. All right. Now, granted, AJ Brown has been officially ruled out, but I think this is the week where Philly's gonna have to get the run game going. Okay. Yeah, you got Devontae Smith, but you're gonna have to get Saquon Barkley in the run game. They've got to put over 100 yards rushing. And I'm not talking about Jalen. I'm talking about the running backs.
So,
They've got to.
What do you think the problem has been so far? Why haven't they been able to run the football?
I don't know. I mean, the offensive line hasn't been doing a bad job, right? Because they've been giving Jalen some protection on passes. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe on run they're not opening the holes enough. It's hard to say. I will say I've seen a couple of times where you could tell the defense was coming and they still stuck with the run play. Like, no, audible out of it. So,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of Eagle fans that I encounter, they are complaining about the loss of their offensive coordinator from last season, Kellen Moore, and that's partial why the run game hasn't been where it should be. That um, before they were stacked, they wanted to stack the box against Saquon, and they wanted to make Hurts beat them. Well, you know what? If you can design plays and know when to call them, then you can get chunks of yards out of that. And how many chunks of yards did we see out of Barkley last season, getting huge games,
Huge.
150, 160 a game,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't had a 100-yard game this whole season, right?
Right.
If I'm not correct, he might have had one, but if he didn't have that one, that's it. So you know, the back in the day they said the best friend of a passing game is a run game. If if you can't run the ball, then it's gonna bleed into your passing game. And if you become really predictable, third and longs, second and longs, then you're not fooling anybody. Everybody knows you're passing the ball. So maybe they have to get their things right with the offensive coordinator to be more dynamic on first down. Maybe just don't run the ball on first down. Come out, pass the ball a little bit on first, and then mix it up with a little play action. But to me, I mean, Philly has the parts, right? They have
Yeah.
the players.
Yeah. And they just got
But
Graham back. He came out of retirement.
I don't know if he's not calling plays.
No. He'll
Well,
help him on the defense though.
you know,
And I don't
I
know how
mean,
much he's going to help him, right? I mean, he's good, but he may just be helping in depth, you know.
yeah,
But
but
offensively, they got to figure this out.
because they're home and it's one of those rival things where they usually, the Eagles have owned this thing for
Yeah.
a while, just because the Giants have been the Giants for the last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eagles will probably win this game, and I'm picking the Eagles to win. But the Giants are coming. The Giants, they're coming. They just stay out of the blue medical tent and let the doctors do what they're supposed to do. Then they'll be all right. I'm not sure if you heard about the fines that levied down, the huge fines that were
Yeah.
levied down by the league office for
Yep.
the organization, for Dable, and for Scatterboo. And
Yep.
Scatterboo's on that rookie contract. That 15K gonna hurt.
Absolutely.
So I think it. I mean, maybe he should have said I was checking in for myself because I've been running into walls with my head the last 16 plays. Maybe he said that he needed to go in. He would. I don't know, but
Hey, I thought
if
y'all was putting the 10 up for me.
there you go, and they probably would have believed them. They probably would have believed him if he said it too.
Yep.
You know how
Yep. Oh,
Scatterboo
yes.
is the new Mike Allstott. You remember the A Train
Mm,
down in
Yep.
Tampa?
Yep. Chris says upset alert. Absolutely, it could be, right?
Oh yeah,
So, who are you taking this?
I got Philly in this one. And, I mean, I got Philly. If I got to pick a team, if I got to if I got to pick somebody, I'm going with Philly.
Yeah, I'm going with Philly too. It's a revenge game at home for them, so they've got to win this. Because if not, that's going to bring a lot of questions, right? But Chris also says that he's going for Philly as well. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get on to our next one. Then we have who we got. You know who we got?
Buffalo at Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Got Carolina on my mind. So there is some news. We got breaking news. We
What you
got
got?
breaking news.
Uh, 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 I don't know where it's at.
Oh, there we go. Dun, 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 dun,
What
dun,
you got?
dun. We got breaking news. The breaking news is that the Carolina Panthers will be without Bryce Young on Sunday. The Red Rifleman is back for a limited time only. And Carolina, here we go. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton. A lot of people are like, he's still in the league? We thought he was gone. It's funny when there's like certain teams that like most of America, we don't follow them.
Right.
So and nobody watches preseason anymore. You know what I mean? So if you're not watching the preseason, you don't know who the second or third team quarterback is on Carolina. Why would we want to know? They're never playing in January anyway. Anyway,
Right.
so Andy Dalton is still in the league. He's quarterbacking on Sunday. Whew. I don't know. Buffalo should win this game. I have Buffalo winning this game. Who do you have, Mason?
Well, Chris says gunslinger. He's talking about Andy Dalton there, right? So,
You know what Andy Dalton is?
yeah,
Wasn't he quarterbacking when T.O. and Chad Ochocinco was in the league?
yes, 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 yes. But he was young then too, right? So,
they've been out
look,
of the league for a minute.
they have. Look, hands down, I'm taking Buffalo over Carolina for a number of reasons, and Bryce Young being out just makes it even more right. I got it. He's young. Andy Dalton might put a really good performance up. Who knows? But
I mean, like Flacco.
but I'm still going to take Buffalo this game. Chris has said he's taking Buffalo +5. So it's all so far. The first 3 games, Jay, we've pushed on, right?
Phillips. Go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
First 3 games we've pushed on, right?
Yeah.
So let's move down to the next game.
The Chicago Bears at the Baltimore Ravens. We have breaking news. We have breaking news. Yes. All right. Lamar Jackson returns to football for the first time for over a month. The Baltimore Ravens have been reeling ever since he has been out the game. Will Baltimore make a push now that Lamar Jackson is back? Mason, do they have a chance to come back in the AFC North?
Ooh. I can't rule them out, right? As long as they stay healthy. However, it is not going to be easy, right? They're 1-5. Okay. And let's be honest, Baltimore was struggling before Lamar got hurt. So, and I got that they had defensive issues, defensive players that were hurt, but it's going to be about a health thing, right? If they're gonna get back in this, they are going to have to make a serious run at this. And I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's not going to be easy. These are all professional teams, and to go on, who they got on their schedule?
I'm saying the Jets are not a professional team.
Okay, they are. Some teams just have more issues than others. Okay, but
okay.
But look, I mean, Chicago, they're playing good football. Okay, they're 4-2, so they're trying to find their way. Caleb Williams is not doing too bad, but I think DeAndre Swift's the focus on that offense, not Caleb Williams. I understand that DeAndre is currently limited. I understand he'll be playing. But from my understanding, he's got a groin injury, right? So he's going to be playing, but he's going to be limited on snaps. So with Lamar and the some of the defenses coming back this week, I've got to take Baltimore. So,
okay.
What about you?
Well, I'm never going to give up on a hardball coach team. Either brother, doesn't matter. I believe that once you have your quarterback, it builds a little bit of confidence in the whole room. And I think being at home against Chicago gives them a chance to maybe right the ship a little bit. Looking at their schedule moving forward, if they can win this game and go to 2-5, then they have Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland, Jets. So that's not the best teams in the league.
It's not.
So with that being said, and if Lamar Jackson can be the old Lamar Jackson, it gives them opportunity. They just need to. They have to take care of the Chicago team. Chicago's 4-2, and that's a huge surprise to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Chicago's 4-2, even though Baltimore's 1-5, I have Baltimore winning this game.
Yeah.
So I have Baltimore winning. I just think that with everything that's happening right now, I think somehow, some way, Baltimore gets a win out of this one.
Okay. Did I get my pick or no? I don't think I did. So, like we said, we talked about it, right? I don't think Lamar is going to be the old Lamar just yet. So just because now, if DeAndre Swift is ruled out, then that's going to ruin my pick. But I'm going for Chicago on this one. So Chris, though, is also going for Baltimore with you.
Okay.
So this is our first odd game.
I can see you going with Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Baltimore's got to prove to me that just because you're coming off injury, that wasn't the only issue.
Well, they haven't been able to score any points.
Right.
That's the,
So, yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on. I mean, do we really need to talk about this next game? I mean, we can skip it. I mean, no? Okay. Talking about some 49ers at the Houston Texans. Oh, my word. Look at that shirt on his chest. All right, Jay, kick us off.
All right. So, last week, the 49ers, they did it again. They did the impossible. And it seems like it doesn't matter who we have at quarterback. Doesn't matter who's hurt on the defense, what receiver is playing, because we've had injuries. I think we had the most injuries, at least top 3 in the league for this season. And to key players to top it off, it's going to be Houston's 2-4. They're without Nico Collins. Mm-hmm. Stroud has not looked the same this year. If anybody has seen that Houston game last week between them, it was Seattle, right?
Yeah.
They just look like a total offense that's just not together. Yeah. Like they have a hard time running the ball. They have a hard time. The receivers have a hard time getting open. And when they're open, Stroud has a hard time of getting the ball. He's holding on to the ball way too long. And it just seems like this is a team that offense is not clicking the way that we are expecting them to. San Francisco, on the other hand, it seems that the offensive player of the week last week was Christian McCaffrey. Now, with all the injuries to the 49ers, you would think Shanahan would limit the amount of touches of Christian McCaffrey. No. Shanahan is giving him the ball almost 40 times a game, which is someone who's been injury prone. You would think that they would rely on their other running backs and other tight ends, receivers, and stuff like that. But I guess he knows how serious these games are, and he can't play for December or January without getting through October and without getting through November. So my hat's off to Shanahan getting this 49 team to 5-2, because I don't think anybody had us being 5-2 and beating the Rams and beating some of these other teams that we've managed to beat this year. With the team that we have, thrown out there on Sundays against some of these other healthier teams.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I mean, that right there, what you was talking about, San Francisco being 5-2, it's a shocker, right? They've had a lot of injuries, and I don't think anybody, as fans, even not a 49er fan, but a football fan, you're hearing about all these injuries, and you're like, they're done. Their season's going to be bad, right? But then every week they prove us wrong. I was hoping last week I was right. Nope, I was wrong. I went with my Falcons, and the San Francisco 49ers pulled it out.
These are Pro Bowl players that are out.
Yes, absolutely. So, I mean, San Francisco is on the way, and I don't see Houston offensively being able to keep up with San Francisco. Mac Jones is doing his thing in San Francisco right now. Defensively, Houston can slow down San Francisco, because Houston's defense is not bad, but their offense isn't giving them any support. And we talked about that earlier, right? Your offense has to be able to keep you off the field, because if the offense is staying off the field, that means the defense is on the field. And too much time on the field, you get wore out. And by the fourth quarter, it may be close for the first three quarters, but by the fourth, if Houston hasn't offensively done anything, by the fourth, San Francisco is going to open it up a little bit. So I'm going with 49ers. Chris also chose the 49ers this week. So let's take a look and see, right? All right. Yeah, I know. You already said you got 49ers. Congratulations. That'll put them at 6-2.
Yes.
So it'll help them out. All right, let's move on.
All right. So, the NBA.
No. Real quick. Chris said they're going to lose now. You're talking about San Francisco.
Oh, no.
All right, hold on. So we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Denver Broncos.
No. Let's skip that. Let's go to the NBA. Come on.
No, we still got three games.
In 49erville, we don't talk about Cowboys on this show.
Oh Lord. But we got to a little bit, right? Because Dallas looked good last week. Did they not? Was CeeDee Lamb back? They look good.
Cowboys.
And then but they're playing in Denver this week. Okay.
Well, let's
it's
talk about
outdoor, Mile High Stadium. Sometimes Mile High Stadium is one of those places, right, where it could be an advantage for the home team, because if you're not used to that elevation, it can be very, very tough, right? Everybody's like, well, the pro players, right? But if it's not a place that you train in, a lot of times it can be difficult to go up there and play in it. Dallas looks nice, but Denver's looking nice too. Sean Payton's got that team doing what he wants them to do. Jay, I'm going to take the home team. I'm going with Denver.
Okay. So Denver played last week.
Yep.
Against the New York Football Giants. 19-0 in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty special 33 points in the fourth quarter. That's it was one for the books. No team has ever scored 33 points in the
Correct.
fourth quarter before.
Correct.
The back and forth. It was an amazing football game last week. A lot of energy was exerted in that win. Do you think that when you come back from a team like that and you have such an emotional victory, do you think it affects you the next week?
Yeah, but I think it's going to affect them in a positive way.
Okay. So the big, emotional swing from you're probably going to lose this game to, and they, they showed some of the reporting from the New York Giants media when the Broncos scored their first touchdown with 5 minutes to go. They said that the the Broncos scored a touchdown in garbage time just to pad their stats. Da 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 da. And they're like fantasy owners are just they're just doing it for fantasy owners because there's no way they're going to win this game with 5 minutes to go, being down 10 points. And then the house collapsed on them. The Giants end up losing it. The Broncos, whew, 1 week they're good. The defense has always been solid. Every week the defense is solid. But it seems like some weeks Bo Nix has some issues. He has he has gaps in his game where he's doing really good and then all of a sudden he goes into these droughts. Against the Cowboys, I'm reluctant to say this, with CeeDee Lamb back, Pickens, Ferguson, and Williams, the offense is as well tuned right now. Now I'm not the defense isn't really there, but that offense does not miss a beat. So you cannot fall down 19, 20, whatever points to them like you did to the Giants last week. And then think, okay, well, we'll just come back and, we're going to win this game in the fourth. I don't believe that when it comes to the Cowboys. I think if you're going to beat the Cowboys, you got to jump on them early. And I'm not sure, Williams is coming back to his old stomping grounds. And I got Dallas beating Denver in this one.
Oh, nice. Chris picked Denver. So looks like you are the lone wolf in this one, Jay. It's okay.
And believe me, it pains me to pick Dallas too.
Oh, I imagine so. All right. Let's get to this Green Bay Packers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, it's in Pittsburgh. You're talking about two top tier contenders, right?
Yes.
So you're talking about Aaron Rodgers against his former team, right? You're talking about against the quarterback that replaced him, Jordan Love.
Yes.
Both teams, I think, in my opinion, right, there's games where they look like they are going to be a dominant team. And then there's games where you're like, what are you doing? Right? Like, you should be blowing this team out right now, and yet you're not. Okay? I think Aaron Rodgers is back to having fun, though. I know, I believe he thinks the clock is running against him. He's got only so many days. Now, he did come out earlier this week say he will retire as a Packer. I'm curious about that. But I think these teams are, in my opinion, really close matched, right? Offense and defensive wise. So it's going to be a battle for the ages. I think this game right here is going to be very, very interesting to see who wins. In my opinion, I think the home team, Pittsburgh, wins this because they're going to have them terrible towels down.
Ooh,
What you got?
that's who you're rolling with.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Pittsburgh.
That's what you got. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, do you know? Do you know who Bart Starr is?
Yes.
He won a few championships, right?
Yeah. A couple of them.
Okay. Well, this week, Jordan Love is trying to enter Bart Starr Company. Do you know why that is?
No, I do not.
Because in 1970, Bart Starr took the Packers into Pittsburgh and beat them. And that's the last time the Green Bay Packers have beaten Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Wow. I did not know that.
1970. And they're going to beat them tomorrow. The Pack
Oh,
will beat the Steelers tomorrow and end the curse. They will end the curse tomorrow.
I don't think so, but we'll see. Chris has also picked Green Bay on this game. So it looks like I'm the lone wolf on this game.
Yes.
It's okay, though, right? We'll figure things out.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Our last and final NFL game for the day. The Washington Commanders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Jay, what you got on this?
Whew. Jaden's gone. I don't think McLaurin, I don't think he's back.
Nope.
They get Debo. They're playing. Where are they playing at again?
At Kansas City. Arrowhead.
Whew, that's a tough ask, man.
It is. That's one of those stadiums we talked about a couple weeks ago.
So a lot of our viewers, they're from the DMV, Washington, Maryland, DC area, and strong Washington base, but they're not delusional. They're not. They see how Kansas City's playing, and I'm not per se a Washington fan, but I understand their heartache, and they haven't won a championship in a while. They haven't been in contention for a while, and they're really looking for a winner. And they believe they have the right pieces, but can they keep their pieces on the field? And that seems to be their problem this season. When they had their pieces on the field last year, they went to the NFC Championship game and upset a high-powered Detroit offense to do that. So for me, I think Washington is not on the same level as Kansas City without their guns. And I don't even think my 49ers would beat the Kansas City Chiefs without their quarterback, without their receivers, without their defensive players. You can beat you can beat half the league with missing a few guys, this, that, and the other. But the top 4, top 5, top 6 teams in the league, if you don't have your pieces and they have theirs, well, 9 times out of 10, they're going to beat you. So I got Kansas City. They're getting healthy, and they got Rashid Rice off suspension. So that offense looks totally different. And Pacheco, for whatever reason, he looks better. It's funny how certain people, when they show up, then it aids other people. Kelsey's getting more looks, and Hollywood Brown, and then Pacheco. And then when they get inside the 5-yard line, they bring in the sledgehammer Hunt to bring in for the touchdowns. Kansas City they back up and running again. Kansas City.
Okay. Look, I'm in agreement with you, but I'll tell you why, right? I'll tell you why I'm picking Kansas City. One, because Jaden Daniels is hurt, right? They're too hurt on the offense, right? But it brings up questions for me, Jay. If Washington continues to struggle and Jaden Daniels is hurt, at what point in time does Washington, because Philly's is right now at the top, right? And if Dallas picks up speed because they're getting their players back, if they start winning games, right, it's going to be hard for Washington to make the playoffs. Okay. So at what point in time does Washington say, okay, the health of Jaden Daniels is more important. Let's shut him down for the season, right? That way he can be ready for next season. Because if not, then you're probably going to re-injure him or something else. You see what I'm saying? I don't know when that is. Washington organization is going to have to make that call because Jaden Daniels is the future for them. He is their quarterback.
You're at a situation. You're at a key week right now where Philly somehow loses to the Giants, and the Giants are 3-5. Washington loses to Kansas City. Washington is in last place.
Right.
And, Dallas could lose and still be 3-4-1. To me, what we thought the NFC East was going to be is, they're coming down a little bit.
Right. No, and speaking of Kansas City, right? Like you said, their players are coming back, right? So Mahomes is getting more comfortable, the player with his team and everything again. And we can't overlook how great of a coach Andy Reid is, right? He's been in this league years, right? Maybe Kansas City has been playing a little bit back, right? Because of the injuries. And they know as long as they're within a certain range, they can make that push. And I think right now they're making that push to get back on the top. So it's going to be interesting. I've got the Chiefs. Chris has also got the Chiefs. So we will go, and that rounds up our NFL.
All right. We got breaking news. NBA.
Oh, what's happening over there?
All right. So, throughout the week, we've encountered what is the best way to come out is saying is illegal gambling throughout the league, and more names are going to come out. FBI is involved. Anytime the FBI comes sniffing around the league office, it's a bad look.
Right.
So, more things are going to come out about who was involved, who wasn't involved, what they knew, what they didn't know. Did the NBA front office know about certain things and decide to look the other way? So, to me, I think we're just getting the tip of the iceberg here. It's not it's just whoever they just named. I believe it's gonna go a lot deeper than that, and you're probably going to get some active players as well as active coaches. And we're not talking about head coaches. I'm talking about assistant coaches. Probably has something to do with this as well, where they know who's playing, who's not playing, who's hurt, but they're actually still listed as going to be playing that night.
Right.
Officials. It's just there's so many different branches to this of illegal card games, point shaving, and we heard about certain players coming out of games when they weren't hurt, and because they it's
right.
not a good thing.
I got you. I got you. Here's what I hope from your story, Jay, is that this doesn't overshadow the NBA season, right? Because as serious as this story is, right? We still have to support. We still need to support the guys that are actually on the court playing, and hopefully give us an exciting season, right? I mean, we're going to talk more about basketball later on when the season really starts ramping up. So, all right,
Yeah.
Jay, you got any last words?
Yeah, I got a few last words. I'd like to thank Christy Ramey. She flew in from Colorado to Virginia because I couldn't be there for our high school Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame ceremony, and she was able to give my inductee speech. I wanted to thank her from the bottom of my heart. She didn't have to do it, and it's a huge honor for me to be with the great names that have played in the 50 years that my high school has been out there. So um, it's just an amazing thing. It warms my heart, and I'm just looking forward to some more of the Osborne Park legends getting into the Hall of Fame. And thank you very much to the ones that voted me in. Uh, it was very much unexpected, but very thankful. So that's what I have. Just wanted to thank everybody um, for that.
Hey, absolutely. Chris said congrats. Hey, congrats from me too, brother. Absolutely.
Thank you very
Well
much.
deserved. Hey, remember, if you're watching the show, please like and subscribe. The more you do, the better we can get at this. Okay. Uh, hey, go enjoy football. It's about to kick off, and y'all have a lovely weekend.
Yes, go Niners.